Simon, congratulations on your new film, and thank you for taking a little bit of your time to talk to me. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. It's great to be here.
So I wanted to start with this. I wanted to ask you, how are you feeling right now? Because knowing that people around the world are finally going to be able to see this film and enjoy the music you created for it. I mean, it's been 13 years since the original. So how are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm excited. I mean, I think we've been working very hard this year to get this finished. I delivered the last piece of music for the film on November the 23rd. So it's been a rush, and there's a lot of music in this film. There's 3 hours of score. So that it has been a lot of work, and I'm very proud of it. And I'm also very proud of the film. I think what Jim has made is extraordinary.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic film, one of the best of the year. So, we know that you were really close with the late Mr. James Horner, who gave us amazing music throughout his career, including the first Avatar. So, I wanted to ask you, in what ways did you get to pay tribute to your friend and your colleague with this score of The Way in the Water? And did Mr. Cameron and you talk about this?
Oh, of course, yes. I mean, he died in 2015, and we wanted to bring some of the themes from Avatar 1 in and integrate them into the film. I mean, I've used that where I can because it was important for us to carry some of the DNA with us, and texturally as well. And I think that hopefully we've done James honor in terms of the way that we've used some of his things. There is, um, where it's possible, I've tried to keep some of those flavors and some of his themes. But obviously, this is substantially new because there's a new film with new people, new characters, and so on.
And I think you guys did a great job with that aspect of the music. Uh, with time, we've all read and or listened to stories about James Cameron is a perfectionist with his films. So, how was your experience working with him and his style? And did he provide enough space for you to improvise or bring your own vision to the table as well as the story?
Oh, absolutely. No, the one thing I'd say about Jim is that Jim is absolutely somebody for whom he um, he wants me to have that creative freedom to make mistakes, but he will also then tell me, "Well, actually, no, this is where I want to go." And one of the things that we worked on was this idea that I would hand him music, and then he would often start taking pieces from my score from other places and actually start creating his own score out of my music, um, uh, and um, and then he would give it back to me, and then I would refine where he'd gone. And so this was a very much a collaboration in terms of getting the music, because what you see on the film is what Jim wants to have on the film. And if I have to rewrite something 10 times, I will until it's right.
That's awesome. In the original film, we meet the Omaticaya clan and their sounds and the music of the forest. In this sequel,
Yeah.
we meet the Metkayina clan, who are reef people, Navi of the water. Can you talk about a little bit about the different ways you set out to distinguish them within the score? Did you use different instruments for each clan and
Oh,
their
absolutely.
surroundings? For example, there's a track that I love. That's basically what you see it on the trailer. Comes in and plays the track plays when the Solid Kids dive the first time they dive into the water and discover, and it's just gorgeous and so full of wonder and magic that you can see the difference between the first clan and the second clan.
Very much so. There was a number of things that I wanted to do. One was that we had a sharp, quite edgy sound for the voices in the first film, and there's a lot of like gamelan type textures, glowing things in the forest. Here, I went for a softer texture because the water required it. So the percussion stopped being the sort of gamelan thing; it became more like bamboo and wood and things like that, anklungs, and the voices, especially for that cue you're talking about. I wanted them to be almost like sirens calling, like mermaids. And so the idea is that there's coming, these mystic voices sing as like they're saying, "Come into the water now." But this is the joy of the water rather than the day. Like they're not going to drag you to your death like the sirens would be. But that was my idea, was that there was that calling, that texture, and I wanted to have quite a tactile quality on those voices so that you could touch them. The other point was that Jim and I talked a lot about the way that light goes through the water and how it hits the sand and the sort of iridescence. And so some of what I was doing was creating textures for the iridescence and for the way the water flowed and stuff like that.
I mean, it's fantastic because it's just a gorgeous scene, and you can see the differences between the cultures and the clans and the music and the sounds. So I thought you did a fantastic job. Besides the amazing musical score, you also work in two additional tracks for the movie. I mean, one is called Songcore that features Zoe Saldana singing, and the other one features The Weeknd called Nothing Is Lost. So can you talk about how did the idea for both songs come up, and how of each of them is important to the overall music experience of the film?
So the Zoe song was the first thing I wrote for the score, because on the very, very first page of the script, it says, Neytiri sings the song chord. And it's there, it's in the script. This was like, so this became an important thing. And Jim and I talked about the idea that there had to be this ancient feeling to the melody, along with this idea of the mother's love as well. But so the song chord was important. And once I wrote that in January, the beginning of 2018, because Jim had asked me to read all 4 scripts in December 2017. So I'd read 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 2018 I started working on song chord. And we recorded it with Zoe in April of 2018 when we were shooting live action. Once I had that became the heart of the score, so that you can hear it in Leaving Home, in that cue as they're flying away from the forest. I use that theme a lot. It's Jim and I sort of call it the family theme, and that is the central heart of the film. And you can hear variations of that in things like, for instance, the Darkness to Light, when they swim out later and so on. You can hear echoes of that, and that bum ba ba da is a motif I use a lot through the film. Now, that same motif is in the Nothing Is Lost song with The Weeknd. And because Jim and I talked about who we would, if we were going to have a song at the end, because we already had a beautiful song sung by Zoe Saldana. So it was, and we talked about this, and I said, he and I both agreed that it had to feel like it evolved from the film. It must feel connected. It couldn't feel like a pop song that had just been cut and put in. And so I wrote down one name. I wrote down The Weeknd. And I said, this is the only person. If we do, there's nobody else. And so we contacted Abel, and he watched some of the film and went, as anybody would, this is amazing. And as of September, I started sending him ideas from the score, some concepts, some themes, and so on. And then he and Swedish House Mafia worked on a track. They sent me something back, and then I started saying, "Yeah, but what about this?" And the tweaked, so I tweaked them, just different things. And there was a collaboration between Abel, myself, and Swedish House Mafia making the final version of the song that you hear. Even Jim came in and said, "Hey, how about just tweaking the words here?" So this, and I feel very, very proud of the fact that it flows so naturally out of the film that it feels connected.
Yes, it definitely works out, like you say, coming out of the score of the film, and it's fantastic. And seeing Zoe singing on screen, it's just an amazing experience. So, lastly,
Yeah.
Simon, I know it's far off, but have you started working on music for Avatar 3? And what would you like to explore music? Oh, you already recorded it?
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
it?
I've
It's
already.
done?
Wait, no, but we've got when we were doing some of the on-screen music for Avatar 2, we were also, because they shot 2 and 3 together, there had to be things for 3. If there's
Okay.
something on 3, we would did that. So there are also several elements of 3 that I've already shot, and that also brings in certain themes that go with those elements. and I've already outlined the opening of the film so that it's
Oh my God.
no, we're already there. I'm already started working on that.
Did you get to explore maybe other world instruments that you still hadn't tried or explored for the third
Oh
one?
yeah, no, I've actually, as I said, I've designed instruments that are on screen that they 3D printed for me that are Navi instruments.
Oh my God, that's amazing, Jesus.
Yeah,
So, I
yeah.
mean, Simon, you did a fantastic job with this score. I can't wait to hear what's coming up next with the sequels. I mean, I need to pick you up and buy you a beer because you said you already read the scripts. Come on, man, that's not fair.
Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
oh matter. There is a code of silence at this point.
Definitely, Simon. So again, thank you for taking a little bit of your time to talk to me. I appreciate it, and congratulations, sir, on your new film. It's fantastic, and I can't wait to see it with my family, with my girls, and bring the whole family and my friends. So thank you again, and stay
Well,
safe. And it
thank
was a
you very much
pleasure.
indeed, Francisco, and you
Take
too.
care.
Goodbye.